and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all blessed and doing well. Sorry I look honestly such a mess today. It'll make more sense because obviously I have not been sleeping. As you can see by this video, I'm going to talk through a little bit about why I have given up smoking, kind of my addiction and my experience giving up. This is the first video because I am 1 week in. So no, that's a lie now. This would be like my 9th day today, I think, but I started in the evening because I smoked in the day. So it's nearly 9 days. So it's just over a week. So I'm going to do some updates. Honestly, this is one of the hardest things that I've done. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a background about my smoking. Hopefully it will resonate with other people. It might help other people going through this because it's not easy. And I think I was a little bit too naive to how hard this was going to be. And I'll give you a little bit of a background about why I've done it and how it kind of happened and why I've managed to do it this time and not any other times, and a little bit of background into some of the research that I've done. I know I've not heavily researched into it just because I've been feeling so rubbish lately, it's hard to concentrate. So I'm going to do a lot more studying once my head's a bit clearer and I can actually sleep. So yeah, if you're interested to hear more, keep listening. So I started smoking in general because bear in mind I used to smoke tobacco as well, which makes it even harder. So I started smoking when I was quite young. So I was probably about 13. I think I was 11 when I first tried a little bit of a cigarette. And then I started kind of experimenting a bit more. I started smoking cigarettes a lot more regularly when I was 13. Because we would like smoke them obviously at school. You know how you do, hide behind the tree. I don't know if anyone else used to call it like cupping, where you'd have to cup the cigarettes so that obviously the dinner ladies didn't see the smoke coming out. So yeah, I started smoking when I was quite young. So when I first started smoking, I think I started smoking hash from what I remember. I can't remember what it was called back then. I think it was hash. I don't know, we used to call it something different, but I can't remember, just that little brown sticky stuff, which to be fair, I don't remember ever actually getting that high off it. And then I kind of would smoke a little bit of weed, but that was very like irregular. So I really wouldn't do that very often. I might just smoke a little bit here and there or whatever. So it wasn't that regular back then. I was more interested in drinking and cigarettes than I was weed back then. Alcohol was more my thing. I actually don't really drink at all now. I haven't drunk in a long time. I'm not really a fan of alcohol anyway. But yeah, so that's probably why I didn't smoke as much, because I was more on getting drunk back then, but I would smoke a lot of cigarettes. Like, you know, when you're drinking as well, you chain smoke. So I would definitely drink a lot. I would definitely drink a lot and chain smoke a lot of cigarettes. So I was addicted to tobacco from a younger age, I suppose. I started smoking more at 13. I would say my weed consumption increased quite a bit probably when I turned about 16 and went to college, from what I remember, because like it was like our friendship groups kind of split from school. Like some were more like drinking, going out, whereas I kind of turned into more like stoner vibes. Like I said, I'm still not a big fan of the whole clubbing, but like obviously I wouldn't do that now anyway, but I wasn't a big fan of that kind of stuff. It just wasn't really too much for me. I preferred to chill, smoke. That was more kind of my vibe. So I kind of started to smoke a lot more. I remember when I was 16, 17. I remember it. I remember that because I remember at college someone saying something to me about it. So I knew my weed consumption had started to increase then. But I wouldn't smoke at home because obviously I was living with my mum. So I would usually just like go out most evenings and smoke at my friends. But then I'd smoke quite a lot when I was there, but it wouldn't be as much as what I was doing when I moved out. But I would just go to the friends, smoke some evenings, weekends. And then I think the odd occasion I would sometimes have one in the garden when my mum went to bed. But I didn't do that often. So yeah, but I'd still say I was smoking a fair amount then anyway. So yeah, that continued. I think it got a lot worse, obviously, when I moved out, because when I moved out into my own place, I just started obviously smoking indoors. So I would kind of smoke. See, when I was working, I wouldn't smoke during the day because I wouldn't smoke when I was working, unless maybe like the odd weekend or whatever. But I would smoke in the evenings. So when I got home, but I'd smoke quite a lot in the evenings. And I'd kind of then got to a point when I was actually relying on it to sleep. So if I'd go on holiday or whatever, I would really struggle to sleep because I didn't have weed. And I really came heavy. I really heavily relied on it to sleep. And that become quite a big problem because I would actually get quite bad anxiety when I went away, and I wouldn't even want to go on holiday. How mad is this? Just because I wouldn't want to be without weed. And I thought, how am I going to sleep? Like, it would stress me out. And it did, obviously, I'm going through it now, but I mean, the only time, to be fair, I could sleep was when I went to the Caribbean, and maybe that was the sea air. Now, I've not researched that, so I don't know how true it is, but I would definitely sleep more there compared to anywhere else if I went on holiday. Don't forget to drink water, guys. So yeah, I would just start to smoke a lot. And I knew it was getting quite bad then because I was spending quite a lot of money on weed. And I would smoke a fair amount of zoots in the evening. I don't know, maybe like 6 zoots, maybe more. I can't really remember. But yeah, and it got bad. And then obviously I would smoke during the daytime, the days I weren't working, or if I came home and had a break, I would smoke to make myself nap. This was the craziest thing. I would feel a bit tired, probably because I was smoking, and I would smoke more just to go back to sleep. Sometimes I would wake up and then smoke just to go back to sleep. Like, they got to a point as well in my job where I was really unhappy. Like, I suffered from a lot of depression. I've spoken about this before. And I use weed as a coping mechanism. I use weed as an escape. I literally would look for, and I still get that feeling now, but then I remember I can't do it. Can't wait to come home and smoke a zoot. Like, I'd look forward to it. Do you know what I mean? And it got to a point where, particularly at lockdown as well, when I stopped working, obviously, I would literally smoke all day until the night. I must have smoked sometimes like 15 zoots, maybe more. I don't even know, but I wouldn't smoke huge zoots. They would be smaller ones. I'd rather smoke little and often, if that makes sense. But I just noticed, like, obviously a lot of, I'm going to go into a little bit more about why after I've gone through the background of this. Like, obviously, like, some of it's like GMO, like, it would often make me feel like very cloudy in my head. I would be very forgetful. I didn't feel like I was as sharp and on the ball. I would waste time getting high and then couldn't be bothered to do things, or I'd do something but then just smoke and then maybe not do it as well because I was lazy. I feel like it made me more unsociable. It definitely made my anxiety worse, or created a lot of the anxiety, although I think there was probably some there aside from the weed, but it definitely made it worse. It made me not want to socialize. It made me not want to go outside. I think it does make you a recluse. I mean, again, I'm not saying this is exactly the same for everybody, by the way. I'm just talking about my personal experience. Like, I don't think obviously anybody should be smoking weed, which I'll explain more later on, but obviously it's going to affect different people. So I'm not saying if you smoke weed, everyone's going to get this. Obviously not, but this is just my experience. And I just felt like, I don't know, I was very hazy. I just felt like I wasn't as on point. I struggled to study more. I just felt like it was literally making me less intelligent. The smoking just got kind of out of control for me, especially during lockdown. Like, I'd smoke all day, every day. Like I said, I'd use it to go back to sleep. I'd use it to cover up things. Like, I'd get into debt over it. I got into debt over smoking weed. Like, I must have spent hundreds of pounds a month. I don't even know, but it was a lot. And I was mixing it with tobacco as well. So you've got the nicotine addiction there as well. I used to smoke cigarettes, but I actually stopped smoking cigarettes. It must have been over a year ago. I can't actually remember when. And I moved on to buying tobacco because I preferred the way it rolled with weed. And obviously it saved me money as well. And a lot of the time I actually just couldn't be bothered to roll a rollie. So I just wouldn't really smoke that much tobacco. Because I used to smoke cigarettes quite a lot as well. Like, even if I wasn't smoking weed when I was working, I'd smoke cigarettes. Like, I'd smoke one in the car when I drove there. I think it's like a habit and a routine more than anything. And I'd smoke obviously during my lunch breaks. Yeah, I'd definitely smoke during my lunch breaks. Definitely, yeah. So I'd smoke quite a lot of cigarettes as well. So obviously some of it is the nicotine addiction as well. Yeah, it was just a lot. I was just spending a lot of money on it and using it to deflect things. I would also smoke socially as well. So I'd use it for those reasons too. But like I said, I just felt like it just got way out of hand. And the fact that I was getting in debt for it as well was just ridiculous. But I think I used it as a stress reliever a lot of the time. Or sometimes I think I would smoke because I just used to have something in my hand. And you know, when you're in a situation where you feel awkward or nervous, I'd use smoking to kind of comfort myself, to give me something to do in like that situation, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but yeah, it just got way out of control. And it was an addiction. If I couldn't get weed and I wanted it that night and say like my dealer wasn't picking up, I'd start feeling like panicky about it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I knew that there was a problem there, and I think it was stopping me from gaining weight, even though I've lost weight now, but that's another story. But I think once I get over this, I will probably gain weight. But it was just a lot. And I just really, really struggled with it. And when I obviously changed my beliefs and I gave my life to Christ, and I just realized that an addiction is like a demonic thing and a demonic influence, and I can't let the devil have the better of me. Like, you can't be in this faith and be high all the time. Like, it does say to keep a sober mind. And I'm going to put some of the scriptures in here so that you can see. So obviously we're supposed to have a sober mind. We're not supposed to be high, because obviously you're not really fully with it. So how can you really defend yourself when your barriers are down like that when you're high? It literally says keep a sober mind, to be mindful of the devil, you know. So I just knew I can't be smoking drugs and then saying I've given my life to Christ. I can't be doing that, you know. So I knew that I had to, if I was going to walk this road and I was going to be serious about it, I knew I was going to have to give up. There's plenty of times in the past where I've tried to cut down and I've always just ended up going back. Now, I'm not saying the way that I did it works for everybody. I felt like God moved in me to do this, and I'll explain that a little bit more. And I'm sure he can, in fact, I know he can help, God can help other people do what I did, but I went cold turkey. So I gave up weed, like I said, 9 days ago now. I smoked my last bit, I think it was the previous Monday, and then I stopped smoking that night. So it'll be 9 days this evening. And boy, let me tell you, it's been hard. Ooh. So I never ever thought I would say the day that I've stopped smoking weed. I promise you, I didn't even want to give up. It was the fact that I'd changed and obviously entered the faith that I knew that I had to. I never wanted to give up weed. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I'm going to smoke weed till I'm like 80. Like, my poor lungs, I probably wouldn't have even made it till then, the amount I smoked. But you know what I mean? So I just knew it wasn't right and I had to give it up because it talks about addiction and stuff like that. And that had control of me. 1,000,000% I did not have control over it. I just knew I had to give up smoking, whether it be edibles, whether it be smoking it. Not that I really did edibles, but yeah, I just knew I can't get high. So yeah, I made that decision. So the funniest thing is, and I'm going to explain this a little bit more in other videos, but 5 or 6 days before this happened, I was praying and I was saying to God, because I knew I had to do this, I was praying like, I need somebody to come and help me, like a friend or a mentor, or somebody that I don't know who's already very established in the faith. I was pitching it in my head, someone established in the faith, and I was like, God, I need someone to help me do this. I just knew that I couldn't do it by myself, and I didn't want to go to like some average, any kind of drug counselor, or do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted somebody that had a spiritual aspect that was in the faith. I knew I needed that because this is the reason why I was giving up. So these other people aren't going to understand my path. So I was like, I need the right person. And I prayed, I said, God, please give me someone in my life to help me do this, because I know this needs to be done. And literally, no word of a lie, God answered my prayers quickly. And I'm going to explain more of this in another video, by the way, because some crazy things have been happening. Just how you know God is real. Because trust me, I would not be giving up weed if he wasn't. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, I was just like, please God. Literally 5 days later, this lovely lady, shout out to you, said, add these people on Facebook. I did. We started talking. That was it. Literally that same, or the day after that, I gave up weed. This is how mad it is. So if you really pray and you really want to do something in your heart, God will help you and give you the strength to do that. Trust me, because God's provided me with the tools through these people. God blessed me with these people. This person I was speaking to, who then referred me to this other lady. If it wasn't for these people that have been onto me and keeping me accountable and supported me like never before, like, I've honestly had more support from these people than from anybody in my life to give this up. And I cannot say how thankful I am and how much I praise God for sending me this. And I know I asked for it, so I can't tell you how the timing was just, I just knew this was God sent. I just knew. And I was just like, I've got to do this. And they were like, you obviously they enforced the fact that I had to. And without them, I can promise you I've not been doing what I'm doing today, because I'm even shocked that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm like, who's Jade and where's she gone in the last 7 days? This is insane. Because I was known for always being high. So yeah, this is my 9th day now. Hopefully this gives some other people some insight and some support, but it has been hard. Like, I have craved smoking. I love smoking. I'm not going to lie, I love smoking. I still kind of crave it now. I'm not going to lie. I love smoking, so it's been hard. The hardest thing for me has been the insomnia. I cannot sleep to save my life. And it's been difficult. There's nights where I've been up till 7, 8 a.m. Literally the tiredness. And I'm somebody I'm a bit of a bitch when I'm tired. I'm somebody who is in a very rubbish mood when I'm tired. I'm very emotional. I'll literally spill a can of drink and I'll bawl. I'll start bawling out crying because I'm just so tired. And the fact that I chose the busiest week to do it, and the week I was hormonal. So I was like, yep, devil's testing me on this one, mate. But sometimes God wants us to go through a challenge. Some people will pray to give up an addiction, and literally like that, it'll be gone. But that's because that's their path. Some people maybe need, and I'm not saying I'm struggling badly. I mean, this is just weed. I mean, thankfully I never did anything else, because I can't imagine how hard that is. But weed does have a very strong psychological addiction, especially if you're using it for certain reasons. I don't think people realize that sometimes. Even when I was smoking, I was saying smoking isn't good. I wasn't naive. I wasn't smoking it going, oh no, it's fine. I was smoking maybe at the start, but I knew what I was doing was wrong. I just couldn't get out of it. But I wouldn't be ignorant to that fact. I'd still admit what I was doing was wrong. But like, I just found it so difficult, you know, like the insomnia, I can't even say it. I'm tired. Allow me. Yeah, the not sleeping is a killer, and I'm still struggling now. Last night, which is, bearing in mind, would have been the 8th night, it was the first night I actually had a decent sleep. I've been up till 7, 8 in the morning. I'd sometimes fall asleep, wake up again, fall back to sleep, and I'm so tired. Imagine that. It's like being tortured. You're so tired, but you actually can't physically sleep. And then your mind's like playing tricks on you. It's crazy, and I'm trying to pray. That was one of the worst things for me, and the other worst thing has been the anxiety. Now, I struggle with a bit of anxiety anyway, and I think the anxiety is worse because I'm not sleeping. I think it feeds into it. The anxiety has been insane, and the vomiting that's come along with that. So my anxiety throughout the day, I can feel it in my body. I can feel the chemicals, and like in the morning, I wake up with this awful anxiety, and I still get it now. It's crippling. Like, I can feel it in my stomach, my chest. Sometimes I can't even breathe properly. It feels like I'm gonna have a panic attack, and it's making me vomit. So most mornings I've been vomiting a lot. This was the first morning in about 8 days or 7 days that I've not vomited, but I did have bad anxiety, but it didn't make me sick this time. But yeah, I've been vomiting, and I don't know whether that's just purging, like demonic purging, or whether, because the thing is with me, I'm quite sensitive to vomiting anyway. Say if I get quite stressed, I'll vomit. Like, my body extracts very quickly. Like, say if I eat something dodgy, it doesn't even get to my colon. I'm throwing it up before I even get to that. My body will react quite quickly to things. Even before, when I would have nights where I just wouldn't sleep for other reasons, I'd still be sick the next morning. So I don't know whether it's just that, or maybe it's a mixture of the two. I honestly have no idea, but it's not unusual for me to be sick when I'm tired. So it's not a total shock to me, but yeah, I've been sick quite a lot. Yeah, I've lost weight. So that's the craziest thing. Obviously, they say when you give up weed, you gain weight. But I think I will gain weight once I get over the withdrawal symptoms. I do think I will start to see it. But I lost 3 kilos, and I haven't even weighed myself because I don't even want to look. It makes me depressed. Bearing in mind, I'm trying to gain weight. But obviously, this is more important than the way I look. It's not that big of a deal. But I lost 3 kilos in the space of about 6 days, 5 to 6 days. Because the anxiety was so bad. 1, I'm probably burning more calories because I'm stressed. And 2, I just couldn't eat. I'm not somebody that can stress eat. Like, when I feel sick and anxiety, I cannot eat. Even if I tried, it would come back up, so it's pointless. So I've not been able to eat. So I've lost a lot of weight. And people have noticed as well, which is always nice. Thanks, guys. But yeah, people are like, oh, you're looking skinny. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. So yeah, I know that I've lost weight, so I'm really aware of that, but that's fine. So it's kind of like I've fasted, and I thought, well, maybe God wanted me to fast as well. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that was meant to be. So yeah. There's that. So it's been difficult. I think they're the main symptoms that I've suffered from. Now, a lot of people get vivid dreams. I've started to dream a little bit more now I've given up weed. I have to say, I have noticed that I have started to dream a little bit more, but not to the extent that some other people have. I haven't had mad vivid dreams. Maybe they'll come later, but that's probably because I'm not really sleeping. Can't really have mad vivid dreams if you're not really sleeping. So, you know, maybe that will come later. I don't know. And a lot of people have had like night sweats. I had one night where I woke up and I was quite hot, but I don't know if that was just coincidence. But I've not had any crazy night sweats or anything like that personally. But yeah, so the main reason that I've shared this story now, I'm only 9 days in, so I'm going to do an update in another week or two just to tell you how things are going, how I'm feeling then. Like I said, I do really struggle with it. There's been a lot of tears. But yeah, I've also used a little bit of a vape, a no nicotine vape. It's got no nicotine in. I don't really like vaping. It's not something that I really get much out of, but just to have something in my hand. One of my patients even said that they would use a balloon, which I thought was quite a cool idea. But yeah, so I've got a vape sometimes at night time when I'm really struggling. I'll have a few on the vape, but like I said, the vape is no nicotine, nothing like that, because I don't want to still have nicotine in my body. Obviously, you do not want to be vaping because some of the vape, obviously the vape that you use or the liquid you put in will have some chemicals in it. We shouldn't be putting anything in the lungs other than oxygen, really. Not that you can help that with the polluted air, but yeah, I'm literally just using that just to get through the withdrawals, and then I won't use that anyway because, like I said, I'm not a fan of vaping anyway. So I just wanted to add that in. It's good to be transparent about everything, you know. So yeah, So there's that, but I'll stop the vaping once I've got over the worst withdrawals. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over some of the other reasons why I've given up. The main reason obviously I gave up is because of my faith. The other reason that I gave up is because obviously it was an addiction, it was unhealthy, it was ruining your lungs. It's not good for you, it's not good for your brain. Obviously a lot of the stuff we're smoking today is GMO, it's sprayed with stuff and all this kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, obviously there is cess and pure stuff that you can get that isn't as bad, but we're still not supposed to smoke it. Now, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with taking CBD without the THC in it. I think that that's fine. I'm sure that has health properties. I don't have any issues with that at all. The issue that I have is the mind-altering part. Now, regardless of how regardless of how natural something is or whatever, yes, of course, marijuana is a God-given plant. But like I said before, just because something's God-given doesn't mean we have to misuse it, you know? It's like the poppy seed. Just because that's given doesn't mean we have to use that and turn that into heroin and take that, you know? I definitely don't believe that we're supposed to put anything in our lungs other than that, and we're not supposed to use mind-altering drugs. Now, this is where I started to realize that it was worse than what I thought. Now, I saw a video of somebody saying weed and channeling spirits, and I went, hold on a sec. And I was like, hold on a sec. Now, I'm not going to lie. I never researched weed before because I was too scared because I liked smoking weed and I didn't want to know the bad things. So I never researched it. And I was like, hold on a sec. And I actually really do believe that to be true. Now, if you take other psychedelic drugs into consideration, what they do is they can propel you into like another dimension. So a lot of people, when they've taken psychedelic drugs, will see, like, they call them aliens, or I don't know, spirit guys, whatever they want to call them. They're just demons. You're just seeing demons. When we initiate things within ourselves like that, you are opening yourself up to the demonic world. So when you're seeing certain things, that comes from that realm. And like I said, it will always look pretty and amazing, and people are like, but it's so nice and I felt so good. And well, of course, but what price are you paying for that? That's my question, because when you first enter these things, unless you decide to go a lot deeper, they will keep it like that because they want you to buy into it. So they're not going to suddenly come and scare the crap out of you when they're trying to get people to buy into it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it will look all good and all this kind of stuff. Now, it's opening you up to the demonic world. You're lowering your protection. Now, I never saw weed like this, and this is the shock thing for me, that I then started to research into it and I went, oh no. So the weed does affect your energy field. So it kind of brings down your barriers. So you're in a slightly lower vibration. It opens you up to this kind of stuff. So it opens you up to demons. It opens you up to the demonic world. It's like you are opening up a little bit of a channel. And you, as I said, you do this via smoking the weed because it's altering certain things. So you are actually reducing your barriers. And obviously, like I said, it says in the Bible, we must stay sober. So we're vigilant, obviously, of the devil's tricks and what's going on. Now, by smoking this stuff, you are channeling that. Now, there are quite a few people that have had hallucinations when smoking and seen certain things. And I actually didn't realize that I was opening myself up to then channeling that. And now I can exactly see why. You know, and you're talking to someone who loves smoking, so I'm not going to say this just for the sake of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've just realized that the mind-altering part of it is really not great. And like, people can defend it all day, but a lot of the time when you really look into the research, it does show you that there are obviously a lot of negative things in terms of that. And I don't want to open myself up to anything. I'm not taking any chances with that stuff anymore. And I don't want the devil to have the best of me. If we've got an addiction or something like that, the devil has the best of us. We can't be having that. So pray to God on it, pray for strength and pray for help, because believe me, your prayers will get answered. And that's another main reason why I wanted to give up, because of the way it affects your, we all know that there's, you know, everything around us is going to be affected, the energy around us, and it does affect that field. And like I said, what you don't want to do is, some people talk about it propels you into the astral realm, the same way like when you sleep kind of thing. And by doing that, you're propelling yourself into that demonic world. This is not done through God. So it's nothing godly, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible to smoke herbs and all this kind of stuff. It says to stay sober, leave your mind sober. When you are high, your mind is not sober. So that's something that I realized. So that's the main reason that I've given up, is because of my faith, and also because of my health. It is clearly not good for your lungs. So yeah, I really hope that would help other people that are on this journey. It's not easy, but pray for the right guidance and it will be given to you, because that's exactly what I did. Everyone's timing is obviously going to be different in terms of that, but mine was a very quick turnaround. I still can't work out how it's happened. I'm still like, did this happen? Like, how have I just suddenly given up weed? Like, the time between me praying and this happening, like, I can't. It's been like zoom, it's like God is working very, very fast on me right now. It's very overwhelming is what I would say. And the amount of changes I've made in my life, it's not just been this, by the way. I'm going to do another video on this. So I'm dealing with that plus changing other things as well. So it's been stress. But the tiredness for me is just the worst because I just want to cry all the time. And you'll see, I'll put some clips in this video where I talk about how I feel a little bit in the moment. I've obviously not filmed me crying, which I don't really mind, but I don't know, I just didn't even think about picking up the camera at that time. But I wouldn't mind doing that in the moment if I felt that way. But yeah, I'm going to do another update video at some point, but I just thought I would kind of give a bit more insight into this and why I'm giving up smoking and stuff like that. And hopefully it may inspire some other people, give you some encouragement if you're also somebody on this journey. Always welcome to DM me if you ever need any support, because I know this is not easy. Like I said, I love smoking, so I've had to chuck pretty much everything out of my house. But yeah, hopefully it's going to save me a lot of money as well now. Woo! Oh my, if I got all the money back that I've spent on weed, you know how rich I would be. Oh, I was like, I could have done so much more with that money. I could have given it to charity or done something way better than waste it on things down my lungs. But anyway, we move. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it gave you an insight into a bit more of my journey that I'm on now. Like I said, it's not easy, but it's worth it, and God will get you through it. You just got to pray for the strength and pray for the help that you need, because everybody's going to be different. Like, I've gone cold turkey, and I'm not saying it's going to be the same for everybody. I tried the cutting down thing. It didn't work for me. And because I just don't feel like there's not a lot of time left, I just wanted to make immediate changes. I'm an all or nothing type person. That's just the way I am. So yeah, obviously do it in the way that's best for you, but I would really suggest, if you are smoking, definitely looking into it and having a think about it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm glad I've not been crying today. So I woke up with very bad anxiety today, but didn't cry, and I wasn't sick, so we're making progress. But yeah, I thought it would get easier by now. It actually gets a bit harder as you go along. The first few days aren't that bad. Well, I didn't think, probably because it's still in your system a lot more. I think they say it takes like 28 days or something, doesn't it? So we'll see. Me probably longer because I smoked a lot, but anyway. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you guys in my next video, and blessings to you all. Hey guys, so this is the second night giving up weed. Last night wasn't too bad. I couldn't really sleep. Probably slept about 5 in the morning. And then I woke up at 9 yesterday morning. So yeah, that was Tuesday night. So I stopped smoking. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I stopped smoking Tuesday. I think I had like 1 or 2 zoots left Tuesday daytime. I think it was Tuesday. Honestly, I really don't know what's going on anymore. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a blur right now. I don't know what's going on. I think it was Tuesday, but I could be wrong. I think that's the day that I stopped smoking weed. And yeah, I think I had 2 zoots left, so I smoked those, but that was like in the afternoon. And then obviously I stopped smoking, didn't smoke that night. And it's the nighttime that's the worst for me. The daytime's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it's okay. I can deal with it. It's the evenings that I find really hard. So yeah, basically I only slept for 4 hours on the Tuesday night. Had to get up early on the Wednesday, which was yesterday. You know, it still feels like my today. So I literally only slept for like 4 hours. I felt ill, so I like threw up twice. That's quite normal for me if I haven't slept. But obviously it's probably not helping with the weed withdrawal. Yeah, so I had to go out. So obviously I'm tired, but I swear I cannot sleep for the life of me. Even though I'm tired, I can't sleep. One point I'll feel tired, then I'll feel wide awake, then I'll feel tired. It's just, I feel like I'm tormenting myself. Like, I just want to smoke so bad. I've got quite a bad addiction with it. So yeah, because I didn't like really drink or anything else, but smoking was my thing. So yeah, but I'm trying, God. But yeah, I will keep you updated and let you know how I've gone. I just feel very irritated, aggravated, ratty. You know, I do not feel in a good mood. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to use the words that I'd like to use to describe it because they're not good words, but I'm sure you get the gist. And if anyone else is out there right now that's trying to do this or thinking about doing this, I really encourage you to do so. It's not easy, of course not, but we have to try and stay strong. Can't let the devil win. So yeah, we'll see you hopefully at some point. I'll probably still be awake. I'm going to be like I'll be like grey soon, you know. Bags that are literally like dark brown. Oh, but I'll see you soon. So yeah, woke up the next day. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is probably one of the worst I've felt, and it's only at the start. But mate, I couldn't sleep last night. I was awake till like 8 in the morning, then slept for a bit. I was just in floods of tears last night. I was very emotional this morning, obviously because I'm tired as well, because I'm not sleeping, because I'm not smoking. I just felt a wreck this morning. Like, I can't think straight. I'm tired. Like, it's not easy, man. It's really not easy. Like I said, I was very, very reliant on it. Like, if I wasn't gonna get it, I'd feel like I was gonna have a panic attack. I literally felt like that this morning. So it's just, and it's not just that as well. It's like, obviously being on this path, which is the right thing, of course, it has entailed, it's more changes than me just giving up weed. My head looks crazy today, but yeah, so it's a lot. It's not, the weed is the main part of it, but everything together, like, it's a lot. So wish me luck. I was an emotional wreck today.